Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just dive right in because honestly, we're looking at a massive, fundamental shift in how work actually gets done. For decades, management training has really hammered home one core philosophy. Leadership is all about guiding people. But as you'll see in the source material we're breaking down today, the sheer speed of AI integration has completely blown past that traditional model. We aren't just guiding human teams anymore. We're guiding entire systems, these complex, intertwined networks of humans and machines. AI is radically redefining leadership in the age of intelligence, and we absolutely need to unpack what that means for our day-to-day lives. So here's the thing, and it's kind of an uncomfortable truth we have to internalize today. Intelligence is no longer human only. I know, it's a tough pill to swallow for legacy managers who are totally used to being the smartest entities in the room. But we have to realize this isn't just about a new software update or some fancy productivity tools sitting on the sidelines. AI is an active, ongoing participant in decision-making now. It is deeply embedded in how work gets done. And that changes the whole game, right? Because leaders are no longer the exclusive source of intelligence in the system. The question isn't, should we use AI anymore? It's, how do we lead in a system where intelligence is fundamentally shared? So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the leadership dilemma, the shift from control to clarity, what actually happens when machines start thinking, and finally, the new leadership playbook. All right, starting with section 1, the leadership dilemma. Look around and you'll see organizations aggressively scaling AI into literally every corner of their business. They're buying the tools, they're upgrading the infrastructure, and they are expecting massive, instant results. But there is a glaring problem here. Their leadership models are stuck in the past. Traditional leadership focuses almost entirely on guiding people, managing human output, smoothing over interpersonal dynamics. But AI-era leadership demands that we guide systems. We are facing this massive mismatch between our shiny new technical capabilities and our completely outdated management approaches. You simply can't guide a deeply integrated human-machine network using a playbook that was written solely for human workers. It just doesn't work. Moving right along to section 2, from control to clarity. You know the old manager mindset, right? Traditional leadership relied heavily on control, defining tasks and hovering over shoulders to see if people were actually doing the work. That was a manager's absolute primary concern. But since AI can now execute tasks at unprecedented, mind-boggling speeds, that old focus is completely obsolete. The vital question totally shifts from, are people doing the work, to, are we even solving the right problems? Leadership has to evolve from just being a glorified task monitor to effectively framing the actual problems that need solving in the first place. And here is the wild part. Execution, it's no longer the bottleneck. The new bottleneck is entirely about decision quality. When machines can execute at lightning speed, simply doing the work faster isn't your competitive advantage anymore. Think about it. If you make a really bad strategic call, say launching a totally flawed marketing campaign or targeting the completely wrong demographic, AI isn't going to magically save you. No, it's just going to execute that terrible decision at record speed. It's like pressing fast forward on a train heading in the wrong direction. The true limitation of any organization right now is the quality of the human decisions that are driving those machines. Which brings us perfectly to section 3, when machines start thinking. The exact moment AI enters a system, it creates these profound structural ripple effects. But before we break down the 5 biggest ones, I want you to just pause for a second. Ask yourself right now, what is your absolute biggest leadership challenge in an AI environment? Is it trusting the tech, getting your team aligned? Maybe you just feel a little out of the loop? Keep your answer in mind, because I'd bet money that one of these next 5 ripples is at the exact root of your problem. Okay, ripple effect number 1. Decision-making gets completely distributed. We used to rely on centralized decisions, right? Things decided almost entirely by human leaders in closed-door meetings. Now, AI is constantly throwing inputs at you, analyzing massive data sets in seconds, and offering up highly actionable options. The sheer volume of inputs has exploded. But, and this is absolutely crucial, the authority must remain undeniably human. As a leader, you now have to validate and filter through these complex AI inputs while keeping ultimate responsibility over the final call. Ripple number 2 is all about speed. Obviously, AI accelerates everything from data analysis to drafting emails. But you can't just be a speed-focused leader anymore, cheering from the sidelines because a report took 10 seconds instead of 10 hours. Like we just established, faster decisions can easily mean faster disasters. When speed is just a cheap commodity provided by AI, your human judgment becomes the absolute premium skill. You have to be evaluating the worth and the impact of the output, not just how fast it hit your desk. Ripple number 3 makes clarity a core survival skill. Why? Because AI is a wildly aggressive multiplier. If your thinking is vague, a powerful AI will literally just take that and amplify your confusion, generating a mountain of highly convincing but deeply unhelpful noise. But if your intent, your context, and your boundaries are crystal clear, AI provides exponential leverage. It takes your precise direction and scales it flawlessly. Clarity is everything. Moving to Ripple number 4, the whole nature of daily work shifts. Teams used to spend practically all their time just doing the work, writing the code, building the spreadsheets. Actually, scratch that. They aren't just spending less time on it. The whole energy of the team shifts to framing the work. Your job as a leader is no longer just checking if a task is done. You have to actively coach your team on their thinking process. You're teaching them how to structure queries and properly frame the problems they are feeding to the AI. The fifth and final Ripple fundamentally redefines trust. We used to just ask, can this person deliver on time? It was purely an interpersonal thing. Now, you need system-level trust. You literally have to interrogate the entire workflow. Can we trust the training data? Are the algorithms biased? Is the whole system secure? Trust isn't just a handshake in the hallway anymore. It is a system-wide necessity encompassing the human, the machine, and all the invisible data feeding it. All right, let's get incredibly practical. Section 4, the new leadership playbook. So how do we actually put all of this into practice? High-performing leaders are focusing on 5 key areas. First up, problem clarity. You need to define the actual problem better than anyone else in the room. Second is decision discipline. This means knowing exactly when to unleash AI and, just as importantly, when to keep it out. Then you move to system thinking, where you're designing integrated workflows instead of just handing out isolated tasks. Number 4 is human oversight, which we know is non-negotiable. And finally, learning velocity, just constantly adopting based on the feedback your new system is giving you. I actually want you to try this immediately after this explainer. Pick one specific decision you're working on today. Just one. Ask yourself honestly, are you brutally clear on the actual problem? Adjust your approach and only let AI into the mix where that clarity exists. It's a super simple test, but it will instantly force you to observe how your decision quality changes. It's a great way to force that shift from doing to framing. All of this builds to a completely new professional identity. You really have to graduate from being a traditional, hovering task execution manager to becoming an architect of human AI systems. Let's be perfectly clear about the bottom line here. AI is not replacing leaders. No way. It's just removing the busy work and aggressively raising the bar, forcing you to step up and truly architect how your team and your technology collaborate to drive real value. I want to leave you with this final, absolutely vital thought from the source material. AI expands what is possible. Leadership determines what is meaningful. AI can give you a million possibilities in a matter of seconds, but it doesn't inherently know what actually matters to your business. The question is, are you just going to let the machine generate noise, or will you step up and architect something meaningful? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.